Hi and welcome back to my channel, Gabby on Paper. Today's video is going to be May's budget wrap up, and I'm going to go over how much I spent in each of my categories and see how I did compared to what I budgeted for at the beginning of the month. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I went ahead and wrote out all my expenses. I color coded everything, and then I filled out my weekly check-in so I would be ready to go for the video today. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move this over to the side a little bit. All right, so I guess I'll start by kind of explaining how my May went. It was really a crazy one. I started off with a new job and I was like, okay, this is my job. I'm going to be working here. It's good. Randomly on like May 4th or 5th, I got upset because I had found out a few different things regarding my employment. I just didn't know how it worked, and at the time I didn't think to ask. I was just like, well, I work full-time, so that means I get paid for 40 hours per week and that I would have benefits right away and things like that. Turns out it wasn't the case. They weren't really upfront about it. They said I did have benefits. They didn't inform me that would be 2 months later. They didn't inform me that I wouldn't have PTO. They said I could take time off, and I was like, okay, well, that means I have PTO. So they weren't upfront about these things, and because of that, I got upset, and one day I randomly applied for like 10 jobs, and that same day, so this was like 2 in the afternoon, I applied for some jobs, and I was reached out to for an interview with my company. I interviewed, that was on a Monday. I interviewed on Wednesday, and that same day at the interview, they offered me the job. They gave me 24 hours to think about it. I thought about it, and I did accept. It was a higher rate of pay, overall a much better situation, and not through a staffing agency. It was directly through the company. So when I did my May budget with me, I had budgeted with the idea in my, with the plan that I was at this other job, the one I had originally started, and that I would continue working there and be getting paid for that 2 paychecks. Anyways, when I accepted my new job, I ended up quitting, and because I was still in the training process and didn't really have any work for me to like finish up, the day I quit was my last day as well. So I quit, and my last day at my old job, it was May 9th, and then I started my new job May 16th, 1 week later. So with all that in mind, all that to say is that I didn't get 2 full paychecks. I got 1 full paycheck and then a tiny bit on the second one. So my first paycheck was the amount of $1,708.77. I mean, I knew I was under budgeting when I budgeted $1,300. I just wasn't sure what my actual amount would be. And then a side note is that they had actually entered in my rate of pay as $5 more an hour than what they had told me. And then I informed them, they're like, yeah, we'll get that changed. But you can keep the money from your first paycheck. So there it is. So $1,708.77 was the first paycheck. The second one was literally for only 1 hour. It was the 1 hour that I worked on that Monday the 9th that I quit. And is in the amount of $27.31. And yep, that is it. So going over to my fixed expenses, my rent and utility fee were the same as always. So was my ComEd, $24.50. Peloton was the $41.83. AT&T was the $77.81. My subscriptions, so this makes up of like Netflix, Hulu, Apple One, and my sticker subscription. The first 3 I split with 3 ways with my boyfriend and my sister, so it's my third, and then my sticker subscription. But this month I did have my Chase like Sapphire preferred like yearly fee be charged in May, and I did make note of that for next year. But my subscriptions with that was $134.91. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this. Oh, I always do that. $1457.05. Okay, now I'm gonna double check to make sure. Yep. Okay, so it was $1457.05. Alrighty. So now we're gonna move over to the variable expenses. Okay. So I'll just bring this into the frame for a second. This is like, I went through all my expense tracker and just totaled up how much I had in each category, and so this is where I'm taking the numbers from. I'm gonna zoom out just a wee bit. Okay, so groceries, I budgeted $240. I went over a little bit, and my total was $267.67. I really don't know what happened because I had been doing well with my grocery spending. Just the very first week of the month, I spent like $100, and then just right off the bat, it was kind of a rough one. But considering how much I spent early on, I think I'm surprised that it's not more, so I'm happy about that. Dining out, $163.12, so under budget. I'm really happy about that. I don't know why it's so low, because a good chunk of this, I would almost say like half of this is from like the last 10 days maybe. So whatever, I'm happy that I was able to stay within budget. Transportation, I budgeted $50, but I spent $105, and I have gone over this in my previous videos. I was, prior to getting a job, I was budgeting $50 a month and just using the train, but now that I'm going into the office full-time, I had to buy a monthly pass. And when I created the budget, I didn't know I was going to be switching jobs and be having to go into the office every day for 3 months, so obviously that's why it's over. I didn't plan it out because I wasn't expecting it. But in future videos and future budget with me's, I won't have to pay for my train pass because I am getting that deducted from my paycheck pre-tax. Health and fitness, I spent $22.03. Home was a very, very spendy one, $88.93. What did we buy? Oh yeah, I had to buy an iron because it turns out ours was broken and was ruining my shirts. We had to buy some Swiffer wet wipes. That's my neighbor's dog. We had to buy a stool for our shower, and some cleaning supplies, and then kitchen towels. Oh, and I bought some Yankee candles for the apartment, so it can smell good. We were planning, my original thought was to buy this in June, and I was gonna budget for that in June, but with Memorial Day sales, I didn't wanna wait and risk having to pay more, so we were completely out. So it was definitely a necessity. We just did it a little earlier than originally planned. Miscellaneous, oof, I budgeted $20. Oh God, $161.97. This was a huge one, let me tell you. So I don't know why. I was planning on getting a haircut in May since I had a new job. It was something I wanted to do that I was waiting to get a job to do, and then I just forgot to budget it. So about $107 or so of that was my haircut, so that's the majority of it. From there, some hangers because of my shopping category a little later on, and just some like hair supplies like frizz control and like dry shampoo. I had to buy a few things like that. I wasn't sure what category to put that under, so I just put it in miscellaneous. And that was the majority of that. Yeah. Hobbies, I am so proud. I can't even believe this. $28.42. So I'm under budget by like $1 and change. Very exciting. Entertainment, I budgeted $80. This was another pricey one. $190.13. And let me tell you, the majority of that is what is it? Oh yeah, we bought our tickets to go see Kendrick Lamar, and it was like almost $150 for my ticket. So as you can see, if I hadn't spent $150, I would have been under budget in my entertainment category, even with going to a museum, going to a Cubs game. Oh, we went to a movie, Top Gun. So even with all that, I would have been under budget in entertainment, but we had to buy those tickets. We didn't want to wait, and I am creating an entertainment sinking fund for the future. So if concerts get announced, we're ready to go, and I don't have to do this again. This heart category, the budget was $75. I spent $53.08, and if you don't know, if you didn't watch my last few videos, it's my mom passed away a few years ago, and I like to spend the day doing things that she would have enjoyed, that's things that we would have enjoyed doing together, things like that. So just give myself a bit of a budget for that day. And then the last thing that I didn't include, I didn't budget for it because I was hoping to not have to, is shopping. Ooh, and this is a giant one. Obviously I budgeted $0. And I spent $666.75. Let me tell you why. And those that have watched my past videos know, but like I explained earlier in the video, I started a new job going into the office 5 days a week for about 3 months. My last job was fully remote until June 6th. At that time, we were gonna go into the office 2 days a week. When I created my May budget, I wasn't planning on switching jobs, so I wasn't planning on needing to buy work clothes. I bought a lot. I bought actually I was adding up all my totals. It was almost $2,000 worth of clothing because I buy different sizes, different colors, kind of to figure out what works for me, and then I do giant returns. So they probably really hate me, all the stores, because I just showed up with a huge tote bag full of returns. But that's how much I ended up keeping from all my purchases. There's a couple things that I might return. I'm still not sure yet, but for now, that is my total. This includes purchases at J. Crew, a tiny purchase at J. Crew that was less than $20, Nordstrom, and then the majority of it was at Gap/Old Navy. So yeah, let's go ahead and get that added up. God. Oh, okay. Yep. So $1,747.10. What? Oh. Okay, well, that's where we're at right now. So I guess I forgot to add up the income because it doesn't have a total line. All right, so when I created the budget, I budgeted $2,600 worth of income. I actually only got $1,736.08. So the difference there was $1,736.08 was $863.92. Ooh, this is terrifying. Okay. So $1457.05 for my fixed expenses plus $1747.10. The total is $3,204.15. Let's do that again. And then for savings, I forgot to write this down, but I had planned on saving $497.95, which was just the difference there. I did one cash stuffing because I was so excited to do it, even though I shouldn't have. All that money should have gone towards this. But the money is already in cash in my envelopes. So I saved $300 from that single cash stuffing. So $197.95. Obviously, there is a pretty big discrepancy between what I made and what I spent and saved. And the rest of the money is just coming from my savings, if I'm being honest, what I've been living on during my unemployment period. So, yeah. Now I'm just gonna take a second to go ahead and get this color coded. Okay, just a side note really fast that I forgot to mention. And from my travel sinking fund, I did pull as I think the budget amount calls it inflow because it's not income. So $411.58, and then I did use that amount to book a flight. So just wanted to make a side note of that. I don't know yet how I'm going to track sinking fund uses, anyways, but for now it's up there. So just a few notes. Obviously this is not great. I spent way more than I brought in. I mean, just not even including my bills, just my variable expenses alone were more than my total income for the month. I know June's gonna be different though. I get paid, so today is Thursday, June 2nd. I get paid tomorrow, Friday, June 3rd. And I like this job. I think it's going okay. I don't really like to job hop, so I think I will stay here as long as they'll have me, pretty much. So I know June I will have 2 pretty complete paychecks. I had to take 1 day off unpaid since I didn't have any PTO accrued during my first pay period, and I'm going to have to take a second day off unpaid during my second pay period. So they won't be full paychecks, but they will be pretty much there. I really don't know what to expect, and I'll be able to see my pay stub tomorrow. I'm so excited to see, because I always like to examine my pay stubs and see where my money's going. So yeah, that is it for today's May budget wrap up. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Bye.